Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen we're making some easy, delicious bruschetta. So let's get started. So for this recipe, I have my 6 Roma tomatoes. You can use any lovely tomato that's in season. That'll be the best bruschetta. But the first step is actually gonna be on the stove. So let's head over into a smallish skillet. I'm adding 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and we're gonna add some garlic into that. You want this bruschetta to have a lovely punch of flavor. So we're gonna infuse the olive oil with garlic and just give it some time to really seep in. You can mince 4 cloves of garlic, or you can be lazy and productive and use your garlic press. We're gonna pop this onto medium-low heat now. There we go. You do not want to burn the garlic. You want to gently cook it a little bit and let it infuse into the oil so our bruschetta will be as delicious as possible. This will cook for 2 to 3 minutes or until the garlic is very fragrant. You'll be, this smells delicious. On to the next step. It's already smelling delicious. The garlic is gonna add so much to this. Roma tomatoes are a good bet for like a year-round okay tomato. So you could make this bruschetta in the winter, and with the flavors we're adding, it'll still be delicious. But of course, the best tomatoes are gonna be in season in the summer, and that is a special time of year where you're doing tomato-forward dishes like this bruschetta or a caprese salad that just give you all the tomato flavor you could ask for. This has cooked. I'm gonna take it off heat and we're gonna transfer this into a bowl. My nightmare would be if the garlic burned. Don't let that happen. While this cools, we're gonna dice our 6 tomatoes. Get rid of those caps. And my one hint to you is to sharpen your knife. I literally just sharpened my knife before we turned the cameras on, because tomatoes are notoriously annoying to cut with a dull knife. This way, they'll slice up like butter. You wanna have nice, smallish pieces that are uniform in size, because this is gonna get piled onto some delicious toasted bread, and you want it to have like a nice mound, not a few giant clumps. And by the way, if you like my videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. There's 2 new recipes every single week. Okay. And just repeat that process with the remaining tomatoes. So unlike ciabatta and tiramisu, bruschetta is actually a traditional Italian dish. Those other ones are from the 80s. The name bruschetta comes from the word bruscare, which in the Roman dialect, and pardon my pronunciation, means to roast over coals. It's a dish that became more popular worldwide as like Italian culinary treasures were, disseminated by travelers. So bruschetta, in my humble opinion, is basically a tomato salad on top of some delicious toasted bread. And I'm only saying that because I'd like you to take liberties with this. If you have some lovely shallots that you want to add to this, I would just mince some and pop them in with the oil. Add your favorite herbs or ingredients, and you can really make it your own. There's so many different versions, and it's really important to do what you love. So use ingredients that are your favorites that you have on hand. I'm popping my tomatoes into my cooled garlic-infused oil. I have a lovely bunch of fresh basil here, and I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a chiffonade or a thin slice. You could do that the fancy way by stacking your leaves and then giving them a little roll, and then giving them a little slice like this, to end up with a chiffonade of basil. Or you can be a little bit more rustic and just chop it thinly from the bunch. Either way, you get a really nice result. And we want about 1/3 cup of fresh basil. But like I said, this is your bruschetta, so if you want to go basil crazy, add away. There we go. Now it's time to add in 3 tablespoons of a nice balsamic vinegar. half a teaspoon of salt. And if you want, you could add a little bit more later. So think of it as half a teaspoon to start. About a quarter teaspoon of cracked black pepper. We're gonna give this a nice mix. Really scrape the bottom of the bowl down so that all of that infused garlic oil penetrates through. This looks so delicious, my mouth is watering. And by the way, you don't have to just have this on toast. I would serve this with some like grilled fish or just as like a side salad even, it's so good. The bread is just like a lovely vehicle to transport it into your mouth, but a spoon works too. If you want a little bit more richness or flavor, you could add some fresh mozzarella, Parmesan, or even burrata. Decadent. My delicious concoction of tomatoes, etc., is ready to go into the fridge to marinate. We really want these flavors to kind of come together for a bit. So at least 30 minutes up to 4 hours. This is a great make-ahead appetizer if you're having people over, by the by. We need some bread for our bruschetta, of course, so grab your favorite baguette, and we're gonna cut this on the diagonal in like half-inch thick slices. You wanna have the perfect ratio of delicious tomato topping with crispy bread. And right now, you should be preheating your oven to 400 degrees, so it's nice and hot for your bread. Just some tomatoes on top of the bread would be delicious, but we're gonna brush it with oil and bake it so it is perfectly almost like oven fried. If you want an extra kick of flavor, which I always do, you'll have a little bit of garlic cut in half, and you're gonna rub this on the toasted bread right when it comes out of the oven. So I have 1 clove of garlic that's already peeled and ready. Very similar to a pan tomate, which I love. Let me know if you want that recipe on the channel. My sliced bread gets arranged onto a baking sheet, and we're just gonna have a nice even layer of it. Now you wanna have some olive oil, amount up to you, a brush, and we're just gonna brush each side of the bread. How much oil you wanna add is totally up to you. It could be a very light and stingy brush, or a deep, like, whenever I order bruschetta at a restaurant, it is like dipped in oil and then baked up. It's so good. It also helps if you're using a really nice olive oil for this recipe, so as usual, use an olive oil that you enjoy the flavor of. There are a lot of differences. My grandfather was Greek, and when I tell you they went through a lot of olive oil, it was the big rectangular tins of it, and they were just lined up in the kitchen, frequently replenished. If you're not charmed by the idea of brushing all these with olive oil, I also have an olive oil micro mister. I can't find it right now, but you just load it up with olive oil and you go, and it sprays really easily. I use it for my air fryer when I want to have like an olive oil spray, because the cans you buy are like, they don't have that much olive oil and it's pretty wasteful. My bread has been brushed and it's ready to go into the oven, 400 Fahrenheit for 12 minutes, and we're going to flip these over halfway through. So at the 6-minute mark, grab some tongs, flip them, and pop them back in the oven. In you go. Once your bread's out of the oven, you can let it cool for a minute, and then we're gonna rub a halved garlic all over the top. This is optional, but I do love the flavor it gives. If you don't love the taste of raw garlic, skip it. My bread is toasted and the tomatoes have marinated, so the easiest thing in the world is to grab a piece, top it up with a tablespoon or so of your tomatoes. It really depends on the size of your baguette as well. Some are larger and they'll hold more. You could use all the tomatoes now or use as much as you want, and the additional tomatoes will store for up to 3 days in the fridge. So you can have this over the course of a few days and it's gonna be delicious each time. Pop those onto a serving plate, and just like that, they are ready to enjoy. That is the loveliest combination of flavors and textures. The bread is so crunchy but rich from the olive oil, and the tomato salad is just nothing but delicious flavor. I hope you get a chance to make this easy recipe, and if you like my videos, hit that subscribe button and check out my Italian playlist.